Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Noah, and thank you for joining me for episode 2 of Noah's Gaming Show. And today we're talking about Nioh and why its crazy, hard-ass difficulty makes it so fucking good. Now, before we go any further, Nioh is actually my introduction into the Souls games, into the Souls genre, if you will. For those of you that really don't know what the Souls genre is, in the most basic of terms, there are games that have way higher than average difficulty. You get really penalized for dying. It offers really challenging bosses. The combat is really focused on reading enemy patterns and learning when to strike and when to block, when to go in on them. And lastly, there are games that'll make you want to break your controller because of one stupid mistake that you made, and that caused you the entire boss fight. And then you really start questioning yourself as a person, and then it sends you into a Hulk-like rage mode. You know what? That doesn't even matter. Let's just continue on with this episode, okay? Joking aside, though, Nioh really flew under my radar this year because I never saw myself as a Souls genre kind of guy. I'm really into action-adventure games, games that are fast-paced, but something about Nioh really caught my eye. Maybe it was the fact that I could be a wannabe Samurai Jack, but the more gameplay I saw, the more streams I saw a game that really rewarded overcoming challenges. Granted, they may take you to the salt mine sometimes, but when you overcome those challenges, it was a great sense of accomplishment that came with it. So I saw Nioh as an opportunity to dive into this new genre I've never been a part of, to really challenge myself, to grow as a gamer. And the harder that it got, the more great experiences and moments that I ended up having, despite the many times I wanted to throw my controller or yell at the heavens. But like I said earlier, the reason that Nioh is hard is what makes it special. Right off the bat, you're going to die a lot in Nioh. Like a lot. So much so that you're going to lose track of how many times you've died. But that's part of the beauty, because each death brings a new lesson. But what that lesson is up for you to determine. Maybe you dodged too soon. Maybe you attacked too soon. You were too passive. You were too aggressive. You should have gone in for the combo. Whatever the reason may be, each death always makes you a better player, a better warrior, a better samurai. And at the end of the day, that's what this game's about. Progression and growth as a player. Learning from your mistakes and adapting to the environment and enemies around you. Aside from learning from your mistakes, or my mistakes I should say, I quickly came to realize that I also needed to learn the game's mechanics in order to keep flowing through the combat, flowing through the environment, and keep progressing as a player. Knowing when to block, when to attack, when to dodge, knowing what stance I should use, knowing how to control my stamina, when to keep pulse, were all really crucial for me to achieve victory. The real difficulty from this game really comes from the enemies and bosses that you encounter throughout your journey. Every enemy you come across reacts and behaves differently and comes in all shapes and sizes. One minute you could be fighting a foot soldier, the next you can be fighting a towering ogre that has the ability to belly flop on you. But no matter what the enemy is, there's always a real sense of weight and threat to them, because as you well know already, death is really bad in this game. But how bad? How bad can it really be, Noah, you must be thinking? Well, I'll tell you. Like many action RPG games that you come across, you always have the ability to level up and gain experience, to level up and learn new abilities for your character, right? Well, it kind of works the same way to an extent in Nioh. Say you're killing the game right now, right? You're on fire, you're just getting straight W's, but out of nowhere, one enemy gets a jump on you, and that's it, you're dead. Now, you're probably thinking, well, I mean, at least I still get to keep the experience I gained, right? Wrong. Each time you die in Nioh, you completely drop all the experience you had on you up until the point of your death. But there's one way to get it back. You start at the last save point, and you have to re-fight every single enemy you defeated since your last death. That's right, you may have gotten through half the level, but if you died, whew, not only do you have to deal with the fact of not dying while you get to your XP so you can reclaim it, but you have to worry about fighting every single enemy that you defeated on your way there. You're probably still wondering, why the hell am I still playing this game? It sounds awful, right? Well, to me, it's actually really addicting. Death has real consequences in this game. You don't just start at the last checkpoint with all your resources. No, this game really makes you work for it. It makes you fear death. It makes you want to keep progressing as a player. It adds a huge layer of tension as each fight you're just praying like, please, dear goodness gracious, do not let me go down this fight. Let me please get to the next shrine. Let me get to the next save point. Because the reality of the situation is, anything at any time in this game can kill you. So that threat, that fear of death is real. Like I said, it has real consequences that we don't really see in mainstream games. The most important thing to know about Nioh is that it's not a hard game just because it wants to be a hard game. It simply wants to reward you with a sense of satisfaction of accomplishment because you had the willingness to learn and have patience and grow as a player. Where this concept truly shines is in the game's fantastic boss battles that are scattered throughout your journey. These bosses put everything you've learned to the test. And damn, I wish I had another word to say they're hard or difficult. But man, do they really take it out of you. Like, really, they're going to leave you both physically and emotionally drained by the time you finish even a single boss fight. See, in most boss fights, most regular boss fights, you lose to a boss, you brush it off, NBD. No big deal. No, here, you lose a boss fight, it really bruises your soul. You start questioning yourself. But I'd be lying if that's not the best part about this game. There's something truly magical about losing a boss fight again and again and again, but each time getting closer, just chipping away, learning new patterns, learning new ways to attack, learning when to go in, when to block. All these things really add up until eventually you finally land that last hit and you get that victory that you've been looking for. That sense that washes over you, the accomplishment, the great pride of feeling yourself like, yeah, I might have been here for 2 fucking hours, but damn, I finally beat him. No other game really brings that sense of accomplishment, overcoming huge obstacles like the way Nioh does. What's cool is that no two bosses are the same in Nioh. Each one is new and unique and brings something new to the table that pushes your skills further. So one minute you might be fighting a gigantic ogre that throws cannonballs at you, but the next you might be fighting some agile vampire lady that just shoots darts and sucks your blood. Because that's how insane and crazy these fights get. To further add to the sense of drama, if you will, is that these boss fights take place in different spaces. So some might be like closed spaces and another might be a wide open area. But no matter what the size of the area is, it's still one hell of a challenge. At the end of the day, the reason I became so attached to Nioh is because there's no better feeling than overcoming obstacles and challenges that you spend hours on learning and trying to overcome them and coming out victorious. Now that I think back to it, my favorite moments are the ones that I spent long nights trying to find a way to overcome a certain struggle that I was going through. And once overcoming said struggle, being unable to stop laughing or smiling at the fact that, yeah, I beat you, Nioh, I beat you at your own game. Bring it on, give me the next boss, give me the next level, let's go. That's exactly the way I felt when I first beat the first boss in Nioh. I remember playing on the couch in the living room, just being utterly frustrated. My dad was watching me the whole time, and I was just trying to find a way to beat this boss because he kept one-shotting me with the stupid cannonballs. But slowly I figured it out with my dad's help, thankfully. You know, I saw that he swung once and then he automatically swung again. If you got too close, he would do like a 360 roundhouse. So I started playing with that, learning the mechanics of how this boss worked, right? So after an hour of just trial and error, just having the patience to not rage quit, to be willing to take it one step at a time, to pay attention to how the boss moved, what his attacks were, what his weaknesses were, and just being able to adapt to that gave me a rush that no other game this year has really given me. No matter how many times I died, no matter how many times I visited the salt mines, I never once thought the game wasn't fair, that the game wasn't fun. Yeah, it's hard, but it's the fun kind of hard. It's like the class that you crammed for, that you studied your ass off for, but you thoroughly enjoy the material you were learning. It's kind of the same thing, if you really think about it. You know, one's a class, one's a video game, whatever, but you get the idea. All in all, Nioh provides a great experience and a great challenge we don't often see in many games nowadays, other than games that are in the Soul genre. While it's a game that kicks your asses left and right like no one's business, it's a game that wants you to learn, that wants you to be a better player. And at the end of the day, isn't that what video games are supposed to do anyways? And that concludes our episode, guys. Thank you for joining in this week. Come back next Friday. Be sure to leave a like or a comment. Really let me know what I can improve on, what I can do better. And until next time, good vibes, guys.